Long ago, the four nations lived together in relative harmony on Earth, populated by normal humans and benders, which are individuals with the ability to manipulate one of four elements. Their influence and innate power shaped the political map of the planet that now divided between the water tribes in the North and South Poles, the continent spanning the polity of the Earth Kingdom, the Fire Nation settled in the Fire Islands, and nomadic airbenders who reside in their temples. These peoples have warred with each other, themselves, and the world's spirits for centuries. To keep them all was the Avatar. The Avatar was an individual reincarnated in a cycle where each new Avatar would be a member of a different bender race. The Avatar would not be limited to one element and would instead be master to all of them. The recent Avatars have had the most influence on the recent state of world affairs. Avatar Zeto saved the Fire Nation from political ruin. Avatar Yangchen dealt with the Shang merchants and the Fifth Nation pirates. The spirits would kill her successor, Avatar Kirkuk. Avatar Kyoshi would maintain a period of peace and stability, stopping Qin the Conqueror, and infamously created a secret organization known as the Dai Li for the Earth King. The period of peace following Kyoshi saw the rapid advancement of technology in many nations of the world. The adoption of the Industrial Revolution would be accepted in the Fire Nation, leading to technological, military, and economic superiority. Avatar Roku would clash with his childhood friend on the issue of Fire Nation expansionism. 17 years later, Roku discovered a Fire Nation colony in the Earth Kingdom, leading to a confrontation that would destroy the Fire Nation palace. 25 years later, with the status quo maintained, Avatar Roku would battle to stop a violent volcanic eruption from engulfing the Fire Nation. Even while aided by Fire Lord Sozin, the volcano would become too much, and Roku would become engulfed in poisonous gases. Sozin, seeing this opportunity, would betray his friend, leaving him to die alongside his dragon Fang. Avatar Aang becomes the next Avatar and one of the last Airbender. Shortly after discovering being the Avatar at 12, he would flee the temple on his Air Beeson Appa. Getting trapped in a storm, his Avatar state took over and created an ice bubble under the water, freezing him for a century. The Airbenders, meanwhile, were attacked by the Fire Nation during a comet passing, now known as Sozin's Comet. The comet amplified Fire Nation bending, and they could annihilate the air nomads. The nomads made a valiant effort, but were easy targets with no standing military. The surviving Airbenders would hide out, being hunted down and lured into traps by the Fire Nation. Sozin planned that he could prevent their intervention in his coming war by killing the Avatar, but the Fire Nation would turn its attention to the other nations. It was able to secure a beachhead in the Earth Kingdom and conquer vast swathes of land, especially following the battles of Han Tui and Garasi. The Earth Kingdom's forces quality differed significantly between its provinces. While all Water Tribe citizens could become warriors, their numbers were too few to amount to much. Coupled with the severe technological advantage, the other nations couldn't compete militarily with the Fire Nation. It led to the Northern Water Tribe developing an isolationist defensive stance. The North Pole geography would make it the perfect fortress, fending off multiple Fire Nation assaults. However, in doing so, the North Pole would abandon its sister nation, the Southern Pole. Fire Lord Azalon would continue his father's work and destroy the Southern Water Tribe's military capabilities. One minor raid would lead to the killing of Water Tribe member Kaya in her effort to protect her daughter Katara, the last known waterbender of the Southern Tribe. The Earth King Bumi would make his city of Omashu one of the last bastions of defense. The conquest continued until Omashu and the capital city of Ba Sing Se became the only independent Earth cities left. Dragon of the West, General Iroh, lays siege to the capital for 600 days and even managed to breach its famed outer wall. But due to his troops' exhaustion and the death of his son, Lu Ten, Iroh would abandon the siege. Due to political shenanigans, Iroh skipped as Fire Lord, and his brother Ozai would ascend the throne. The war de-escalated as the Fire Nation solidified its control, and many Earthbenders were sent to slave camps. They still had many other resistance groups and pirates to deal with crucial members like Prince Zuko and General Iroh searching for the forgotten Avatar, while Captain Zhao was formulating his plan for an assault on the Northern Pole. The world's fortune would reverse following Katara and her non-bending brother Sokka's discovery of Avatar Aang and his heir Bison. They would adventure across the planet together while Prince Zuko and General Zhao hunted him down. Later, Captain Zhao, now Admiral, would put his assault on the Northern northern water into motion soon after Avatar Aang's arrival. He was launching a massive naval attack on the North Pole, while initially successful, even killing the Moon Spirit to deprave the waterbenders their bending ability. The intervention of the Avatar led to the destruction of the Fire Nation forces and Admiral Zhao's abduction from the spirit world. Princess Yue in the siege sacrifices her life to restore the moon and water bending. While this defeat halted any more North Pole attacks, the Fire Nation would make swift gains in capturing the city of Omashu and King Bumi. Firelord Ozai would dispatch his daughter, Princess Azula, to hunt down her uncle and brother after their numerous failures to capture the Avatar. The Fire Nation would attempt again to breach Ba Sing Sa with a giant drill, but this plan would fail again due to the intervention of the Avatar and company. However, Ba Sing Sa would fall to the Fire Nation, but not from outside, but from within. After infiltrating Ba Sing Sa with her friends, Princess Azula could take command with help from the Dai Li, whom they had turned over to their side. Azula and company, the Dai Li, and a now manipulated Prince Zuko would battle the Avatar. While being able to escape, was mortally wounded by Azula and placed in a coma. Dai Li soon brought down the walls of Ba Sing Sa, ending the Earth Kingdom. Team Avatar escapes to the Fire Nation, having critical knowledge of a solar eclipse that would nullify the Firebenders' bending. This attack would come on the day of the Black Sun, when a multinational force of benders and non-benders attacked the Fire Nation's capital. The Fire Nation, knowing this, laid a trap and hid the Fire Lord in one of many underground bunkers. After the eclipse ended, the Firebenders counterattacked using their reverse-engineered airships. The invaders were captured, but the Team Avatar escaped and hid in a nearby air temple. Elsewhere, General Iroh escaped from his holding cell, and King Bumi took back Omashu from the Fire Nation garrison. Seeing the error of his ways and the sins of his homeland, Prince Zuko set out to teach the Avatar firebending, informing him of his father's plan to use the upcoming Sozin's Comet to burn the entire Earth Kingdom. Before its arrival, Firelord Ozai would proclaim himself the Phoenix, king ruler of the world, and began to lay waste to the Earth Kingdom with his armada of airships, putting his daughter Azula in charge of the Fire Nation. Avatar, Aang, and company confronted him, with the Avatar battling Ozai in a one-on-one duel while his friends attempted to destroy the airships. Meanwhile, the Order of the White Lotus emerged, led by General Iroh, and liberated Ba Sing Sa. In the Fire Nation capital, Prince Zuko and Katara battled Princess Azula, defeated after betrayal, paranoia, and extreme mommy issues. Her father would follow soon after. In contrast to his predecessors, Aang used energy bending to remove Ozai's ability to fire bend. With the Fire Nation military and Fire Lord defeated, the war was over. In the aftermath, the world's borders before the war were re-established, and Zuko was crowned Fire Lord. Ozai was put in prison, while Azula was put in a mental health facility. An issue cropped up in the remaining Fire Nation colonies regarding which nation they should belong. After a brief skirmish between the Fire Lord and Earth King, Avatar Aang would help reach an agreement with all parties, establishing the United Republic of Nations. After many decades, Avatar Aang would pass away at 66, ushering in the next Avatar.
Thanks for the money, dummy.